Guys, I just finished doing a introductory video for YouTube. I guess it's going to show up like on my channel page for people that haven't subscribed, something like that. While I was recording that, my cat Newbie jumped up on the table and drooled all over this end because I petted her one time. I got most of it, but I did miss a spot. It's kind of gross. I don't know, maybe it'll dry out. The other day I did a video where I talked about one of the ways that I'm kind of lying to myself to improve at something. And I will get to that. But it's not the only time. It's not the only thing that I have done or do still to this day. The first thing I wanted to talk about is probably something that most beginning pool players are told, something very simple. When I first started trying to play serious pool, I could not draw the ball. I bet I went 6 months without being able to draw the ball. I could already make shots pretty well, but couldn't draw. I didn't have the right stroke for it. At the time, I was stationed at Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi, playing a much better player all the time. And he saw me struggling to draw the ball and gave me some advice. The advice he gave me was, don't be trying to shoot the 8 and draw the cue ball back. He advised me to imagine that the cue ball is not here, it's up there, and draw that imaginary cue ball. That would give me the accelerating stroke that I needed, the straight follow through that I needed, and it absolutely helped. I still don't have a world-class draw stroke, and never have. But it's a heck of a lot better than it ever was back then. It absolutely helped. But it was a lie. I was lying to myself. I had to lie to myself and tell myself, hey, the cue ball's here, when no, it was really here. But I had to tell myself there it was. It's justified means, I guess, whatever. But it was a lie. Along a little bit of the same lines, it doesn't have to just be draw. It can be any kind of a stroke where you want a nice straight follow through and accelerating stroke. So I'm gonna cut this 5 into the corner with follow. I want to try to come back up here somewhere. I need to have a nice straight follow through. And a way to do that is, again, imagine that that's my cue ball. And follow through at least far enough to hit that cue ball. And that allows the shot. I could have put a better stroke on that one, but I didn't. Still a lie. Cue ball wasn't here, it was here. But a helpful lie. Straight follow throughs are almost always a good thing, I would imagine. One of my favorite YouTube channels is called Break From Life. If you haven't watched his stuff, go watch it. He's a snooker guy, but I don't hold that against him too much. He's a better snooker player than I am a pool player. One of the things that he talked about once, I think I would call this like a trick, not a lie, was he talked about, instead of shooting this cue ball at the 8, in this case, imagine there's a cue ball stuck on the end of my stick. And then when I'm aiming with center ball, or at least vertical axis, I'm not aiming the cue ball or the stick at this cue ball and the cue ball at the 8. And then I guess the 8 at the pocket. But I'm aiming this imaginary cue ball stuck up here on the end of my stick. And I'm aiming that at the 8. Again, straight follow through. That's what you need. You don't want to follow through all the way. I guess you could if you wanted to in some cases. But I'm not talking about following through and actually hitting the one or following through that far. Eddie Hill used to say, follow through to the extreme. But no, you just want to follow through, I think. follow through all the way to where that one is, but by imagining a ball sitting here and at least hitting it, and you can get a follow through on the shot. I don't do this draw lie anymore. I don't do following through to an imaginary cue ball anymore. But when I first started, they were helping. And where was I? Oh, the break from life guy, right? Imagining a cue ball stuck on there and aiming it at the object ball. You don't even really need to imagine a cue ball. You can imagine just a tip. This helps me, like on a shot like this, it's almost straight in, but not quite. I think maybe because I don't have very good depth perception, I have a hard time with shots like this sometimes, where I'm supposed to cut that 11 a little bit to my right, but a lot of times I just won't cut it at all. I hit it straight into the short rail. But if I imagine that my tip is going to hit this proper point on the 11, yeah, I'm not following through that far, but I'm at least following through at that point. And if I do that correctly, then it helps. I think that's, again, more like a trick than an actual lie to myself. The one that I mentioned the other night is when I am elevating. This shot is perfectly straight in. Through on that corner is perfectly straight in. If for whatever reason, I'm not even going to bother with that kind of thing. For whatever reason, I'm going to jack up. I'm not going to shoot this with a level cube. I'm going to jack up, shoot a stop shot, or maybe even draw back. When I am elevated, I have an overwhelming tendency, if I miss, to miss to the left, to miss the object ball to the left. So I guess I'm missing the cue ball to the right, which is cutting the object ball to the left. You guys understand that? And I shoot enough, and I pay enough attention to what's going on, that it's not just that I just suck every now and then at it. No, I've noticed this is a real problem for me. It's something to do with when I'm jacked up, the relationship between my cue and my eyes is not the same as when I have a level cue. What I have to do is I can't shoot this 3 at this pocket if I'm jacked up. I have to shoot 3, aim it about here. And doing that, a lot of times, the object ball will go right in the pocket. Now, sometimes, to be fair, 3 will go exactly where I aimed it. Because this issue that's being jacked up and everything's all weird, it's not going to be a permanent thing. I'm trying to fix it. I don't like lying to myself about that. Because eventually it's going to backfire. I'm going to be missing these shots to the right because that's where I aimed it, and I shouldn't be aiming it to the right anymore. But for now, I am. And even if it's like a cut shot or whatever, I'm still, like I'm aiming to overcut this 2. And that's exactly where it went that time. Maybe I'm getting better, or maybe that was just a fluke. But I aim to overcut the ball if I'm cutting to the right. If I'm going to the left, like this, and I'll aim to not cut it. In this particular case, 2 is lined up straight for about right here, and that's where I just aim to hit a stop shot, because I know when I'm jacked up, it's going to cut. It's helpful, and it's helped me to learn, helping my inner pool players learn. I may be too old to learn, but my inner pool player is young at heart, at least. So even though I aimed that to hit it straight, it went right in the heart of the pocket. It's a lie. It's a useful lie, but it is still a lie. I mentioned in a video I don't know, within the last several weeks, that of all the different physical styles that I've used over the years, only one has ever worked for combinations. And it's a little bit of like a jabby type of a stroke. Like that. That's the only one that's ever worked for combinations. What I've been doing the last several days, at least, is I'm imagining that every shot is a combination. Does that make any sense? If I just want to cut to two, I could do that with a million different styles probably. But I'm trying to get this jabby kind of a stroke working for me for all shots, not just combinations. So I'm not going to just cut the two. I'm going to cut the two into an imaginary ball right here and combo it in. That's forcing my interpol player to shoot with the kind of stroke that I'm on the shot. A lot, but useful. Okay, I do it. One of the lies I used to tell myself, and I don't have to do it anymore, will be if I'm shooting left-handed. I'm shooting this shot left-handed. I'm not going to get the bridge. I talked about this in the video. I'm decent enough left-handed that I'm just going to shoot this left-handed. But when I first started doing it, I would have an overwhelming tendency, if I missed, to be cutting the ball to my left. And I would have to adjust and kind of act like I'm cutting it to the right. Because my vision was long. Just like when I'm elevated, the relationship between the stick and my eyes is not the same as when it's a level cue. The same thing left-handed. I don't know where my eyes are in relation to the stick and all that. So just trying to get my interpol player something to work with, it's helped. I don't have to do that anymore. It's not like I'm the master of left-handed shooting, okay? But I miss just as often to the left as I miss to the right now. That used to not be the case. One of the things that I almost forgot about for this video is ghost ball. Ghost ball. I use ghost ball to shoot with most of the time. And that's kind of a lie right there. Well, look, that there's a ball up there, and I'm just aiming the cue ball straight at that. There's not really a ball there. It's imagination stuff. It's a lie. Telling myself, hey, there's a ball. Shoot at that ball. And I've been doing that for a long time. Still a lie. Not really a ghost ball that's there. And then the last thing I want to talk about, and I really don't know if this is just me or not. Sometimes when I go to shoot a shot, especially like the kick shot, I do a lot better at that. But I do this depending on my concentration level all the time. Sometimes I can actually imagine a line in the cloth that I want the cue ball to take to get a kick, or that I want to take. I don't imagine the cue ball up here at the ghost ball. I imagine a line running to that center of that ghost ball. So that's like two lies in one right there. Sometimes I could like almost see the line. You know what I'm doing? See the line. It's not really there. It's a lie. It's like a mental trick for myself. But sometimes I'm not shooting at the ball. I'm shooting the cue ball along a certain line and seeing if it'll go in. Not secret pool, just a mental trick, but a lie that I'm telling myself to be better at something than I would otherwise be. And I think an awful lot of people do this, and I'm actually very curious. Well, first of all, who's heard about that draw thing where you shoot at an imaginary cue ball to make sure you follow through, stuff like that? And any other tricks and stuff that you guys have heard about over the years. I'd love to know about them. If I haven't heard about them already, I would like to hear about them and give them a try and see if they work for me and all that. I like trying different things. Some of the things work. Even if, like what I have there that I've talked about in this video, even if they're lies, if they work, even if they only work for a little while, like my left-handed thing, then they're useful to me because they're allowing me to improve, and that's what I want to do. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks, guys.